What actions can foreign individuals or foreign entities take that can affect U.S. tax attributes on wholly offshore assets even before physical presence is achieved or nexus is achieved in the United States? In limited circumstances, the U.S. tax attributes of wholly offshore assets can be affected by the actions of foreign persons and foreign entities even where there's no immediate physical presence in the United States. Consider the following examples. The offshore sale of an asset by a foreign person or foreign entity will result in a step up in basis to fair market value of that asset to the offshore purchaser, even before any U.S. nexus attaches to any subsequent transaction involving that asset. Another example, property received by offshore inheritance receives a step up in basis to fair market value as of the date of death of the decedent, even where no U.S. estate taxes were levied against that inheritance. One thing a foreign national or foreign individual really needs to look out for when they decide to move or immigrate to the United States or invest in the United States is when they move in the United States or invest in the United States with appreciated assets, assets that are worth more than what you paid for them. That offshore appreciation gained between the time you bought the asset and before you moved in the United States is fully taxable within the United States if you sell that asset while the U.S. government has nexus over that asset. It's for this reason that I highly recommend that folks, before they invest in the U.S. or before they immigrate to the U.S., they engage in pre-immigration tax planning, pre-immigration estate planning, of which my firm can help you with. Many recent immigrants to the United States have been hit by this tax trap. They don't realize that their offshore appreciation in their offshore assets is taxable upon a subsequent sale in the United States. This is because many offshore tax regimes allow for a step up to fair market value on assets when somebody immigrates into their country. And they assume since their country is willing to do it, the United States is as well. This is entirely incorrect. For this reason, U.S. tax advisors, including myself, are wise to be on the lookout for appreciated assets that a foreign entity or foreign individual may wish to contribute in forming a U.S. corporation. The inherent gain in those assets will become subject to taxation in the U.S., even though that gain was earned entirely offshore, and it can be avoided through proper tax planning. In the United States, the inherent gain in assets are excluded from gain upon contribution to a corporation or Code Section 351. This can actually work against an offshore investor's interests. The action of contributing an appreciated asset into a U.S. corporate entity will bring a gain that was earned entirely offshore into the U.S. tax system and is unwise. Where a U.S. corporation is utilized, this appreciated asset that's contributed to a C corporation could potentially face double taxation, once at the corporate level, once at the individual level when the profits are distributed as dividends, upon a subsequent sale of an appreciated asset in the United States. This tax trap can be avoided in a multitude of ways. You can intentionally fail the requirements of 351 and recognize gain upon the contribution of the assets into the U.S. structure first, or the better way is to sell the assets offshore that are appreciated and only invest cash in the United States. That way the offshore appreciation is only recognized offshore and you've got basis of 100% in your cash when you invest in the United States C corporation. Alternatively, appreciated assets can be transferred into a corporation in exchange for taking back debt in a manner that would cause you to fail Section 351, and you would have the recognition of gain upon transferring into the corporation. Not always the best way. The best way to do it is sell the assets offshore and only invest cash. Okay, that's it for this series. Thank you very much for watching this series, and if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them.